Welcome to the WHYcast. I am Nancy.
I'm Chantal.
And I'm Matt.
And we are the hosts of the only podcast about a hacker camp in the world. This volunteer-run event will take place next year in the Netherlands, 42 kilometers above Amsterdam, from August 8th to 12th, 2025, which is basically next year. This is our episode 0, and here's something of the things that what you can expect from us. So first, a short introduction of who we are. So ladies first, I will start with Chantal. Chantal, can you tell me something about yourself and what you are doing for WHY?
Sure. I'm Chantal Stekelenburg, and in my daily life, I am head of hackers at a company. And for WHY, I am actually the team lead for Team Info, and I'm a co-team lead at Team Content. And I also try to help other teams get set up and get some volunteers there.
Perfect.
All right. My name is Ad, and by day I'm an OT nerd, and by night I help Chantal with Team Info and also with this podcast.
Woohoo! So we have a WHYcast. My name is Nancy. I'm co-chair of IFCAT, and that's the organization that is the legal entity for making sure every 4 years a Dutch hacker camp is happening. And I'm also in projectleiding, which is the team of volunteers that is taking care of the fact that all the teams can do their work. So the plan with this podcast is Friday will be WHY Day. So every Friday we will release a 30-minute episode about WHY2025. So maybe I think it's a good thing. Chantal, can you tell a little bit about what WHY is?
Yeah, so WHY is one of the successors of many other hacker camps in the Netherlands. And it's a fully volunteer-run event. And it's actually organized by 42 teams.
Mm-hmm.
Which is not a coincidence.
No, of course not. We can't have any more teams, and all the teams that are here now must exist, because otherwise we don't have 42 teams anymore. But the camp itself, we're going to look into the future to 2025, is going to be in the outside. It's an actual camp. So like people are staying there in tents, sleeping on the grounds, but there are also tents for workshops, but also for talks. And there's also all kinds of other tents with fun things to do. And a lot of those things are like related to hackers, but also makers and all kinds of other stuff. So you can play games, but you can also do a CTF, which is also a game, of course. But you can also maybe make something or hack a I don't know what kind of stuff people bring to
hardware stuff, car tents that are driving around. I've seen drones built into ostriches.
Yeah, and last time there was also like an emu on a lawnmower, like a robotic lawnmower. That was in my camp, so
which is fitting for an outdoor camp event, like in this time. WHY? This is the 10th in a row.
Woohoo!
So this is quite a special milestone, I would say. It has always been on camping grounds, I think.
Yeah. One time it was at University Twente, but I think it was also an outside camp. Yeah.
Yep. And that also adds to the whole ambiance of being outside, being camping, being a holiday and not a conference, like all dressed up in suits and being inside and being posh about it. This is just about having fun and sharing knowledge and learning things and doing things and
while having enough uplink in your tent.
Yes.
Of course. I'm not sure how they are going to do this year for MCH 2022, which the numbers are odd. We'll get into that in a future episode, why that was. But for MCH, there was a 200 gigabit uplink, redundant uplink to the internet, and you could get 10 gigs in your tent.
Wow.
Where can you get that? I mean, where can you get that?
I can't get that at home.
At a hacker camp. Yeah.
Yep. At a hacker camp, you can. Yeah, and it's also family friendly because there's also a family zone. So if you are scared of the fact that you think, oh, but I have to go on holidays with my family, bring your kids. Bring your whole family. It's completely fine. Bring your husband. You can take anyone. It's perfectly fine to bring the whole family. There will be loads of things going on. Last couple of editions was actually great fun for kids as well.
Yeah, and it is always, of course, summertime. So usually it is in the Netherlands, but usually the weather is pretty nice. Mm-hmm. So, and we are outside, so you can do all kinds of stuff. You don't have to do all the planned activities that are there. But it's also much fun because people decorate their camps, but also the entire camp. So there's
lasers,
lights to
LED
see.
lights.
Yeah. So there's also enough to see without actually sitting in a tent all day and listening to talks or something. You can do hands-on stuff. You can walk around, and there's also bars and a food court, so you can also socialize with a lot of people.
Absolutely. And like-minded people, I might add.
Yeah.
I also think we will put in the show notes a link to the after movie of last time, the MCH 2022, where those are drone footages where you can get a very cool overview on what the camp looked like that edition. Of course, we will try to top that since it's the 10th time. Not that we are organizing this hacker camp in the Netherlands. I mean, the first time I was barely born, since it's every 4 years. And I think it's the same for you guys, right?
Yeah, I don't think I was born.
I existed, but
yeah, same. I did exist, but I wasn't hacking yet.
So, but the drone foot is maybe good to mention that the terrain this year is not the same terrain as MCH 2022. It's a different terrain.
True.
So it's going to look a little bit different probably, but it's still the same vibe. And we're going to make it as pretty or maybe even more prettier than it was at MCH 2022. And maybe we can also maybe explain a little bit like for who is this hacker camp actually?
I think it's for everyone who has either already a hacker mindset, anyone who is curious about what hackers do and what they make, because there's also a giant maker community. I mean, the number of 3D printers
actually at the camp
brought out on a field was pretty damn cool. There's badges with electronic gadgets that you get at a bunch of these conferences and camps. And there were already people designing 3D printable cases for them. And those cases were also printed on site by people who brought their 3D printer and said, oh, sure, I'll print one for you, no problem. And cool things like that. So it's all sharing
but also
and learning.
Things about food hacking. There also has been food hacking basis. So new ways of cooking or preparing food.
Yeah, it's not only
I have
hacking.
done a beer brewing workshop the very first time at Hacking at Random when I was there. I did that at OpenBSD village. Never done that before, but also making jewelry. So there's a lot of very different things. Art, absolutely. Yes. Different things going on.
Yeah, it's not just behind your laptop hacking.
No, and hacking is also
definitely not. Yeah.
No, and hacking is not only behind the laptop. It's also using stuff in ways the original designer didn't intend to, but it works. And art is one of the forms where you can really see how you can use materials in completely new ways. So that is also a way of hacking. which involves a lot of creativity.
Yeah.
And how many people do we expect at WHY2025?
Well, I checked the numbers. At MCH, there were approximately 3,200 people. So we aim at between 3,000 and 3,500.
35, yeah.
Yeah.
But my personal, not a very sneaky goal would be 42, but that's way bigger. Bring your friends. No, but approximately 3,500 people. Yeah. So that's a lot of hackers.
It is, but it doesn't feel that big.
No.
It feels cozy.
It feels cozy, yes.
Yeah, because
definitely.
we have all the villages. You can start your own village and say, hey, I'm very much into open source software type XYZ. I want to have a village with people that I know from my open source community from that software. So we start a village, but we also have seen people from government organizations who wanted to stick together, CISOs or other people working on ethical things. And of course we have the country villages as well. So we have the Italian embassy and the Belgian embassy, and so you can, if you come from a certain, because it's an international festival, if you come from a certain country, you can also join the village of your country or create one.
Yeah.
If you want to get loud, go to Graffel.
Yeah.
That's a promise. No, but there are a lot of different variations. But if you just want to go to a silent camping, which we also provide, of course, if you don't want crazy parties all night long, that's also fine. We have a silent spot as well where you can can get some good night's rest.
Yeah, and of course the family village.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay,
guaranteed to be family friendly.
Family friendly, yes. And so why are we actually doing this podcast?
Because it hasn't been done yet. Yeah, so that's a good reason. We had the Dutch Hacker Camp didn't have a podcast yet. I think we have a lot of information to share, and of course we have a mailing list. We have a wiki. We will share all those links in the show notes as well. Soon we will have a website. So there's a lot of information online. But we thought, well, podcast are quite popular now. And it's very nice to get a half-an-hour update every week on where the teams are, get some updates from team leads. So we're going to invite team leads to the podcast as well. And, basically because we can.
Yeah, definitely.
Which is a reason enough, because we can.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, so we plan to interview the team leads from the 42 teams, and we're going to ask them about their current projects, maybe if they need some help or if they need some more volunteers and that kind of stuff. But maybe we should also explain, like, what are those teams actually? What do they do?
Well, it can differ from very technical stuff, like making sure that that there is a power, one of the very basic and very useful teams. We have
the internet.
And the internet. We have a team called NUTS, which is the Dutch word for everything water, electric, and things like that. You can find an explanation on the wiki what NUTS means. But also there's a team for DECO. There's also a team for cohesion. So if anything is going on at the event that is not so nice, people can talk to cohesion or team duct tape, like they like to be called nowadays. But of course, we also need someone for creating the website. We need people for the shuttle to make sure people can get there if they come by public transport from the train station to the train. So there are loads of different things that you can do in the teams.
Yeah, and these teams are all volunteers, right?
Everybody is volunteering.
Yeah.
Nobody is getting paid. The only ones getting paid are some security people, because we are obliged by the municipality where we are based. We have to have some professional security. So sometimes we do hire people to get shit done. but the rest of the organization is all volunteer-based, which is crazy fun. Actually, it's even better from my perspective. When you visit a camp, you immediately become a volunteer. That's called an angel, because at the camp itself, a lot of work has to be done as well. Speakers have to be introduced in tents. They are called heralds. So you can grab a chance to work on your stage presence and give it a try and introduce someone, a big speaker maybe.
All the talks need to be recorded.
All the talks need to be recorded. So we need people for the video and for the sound.
Waste needs to be picked up. Toilet rolls needs to be changed out.
Toilet cleaning is being paid for, by the way.
Cool.
So
nice.
We don't let our volunteers clean toilets. Don't worry about that. That used to be way back. That used to be a volunteer role for visitors. We got rid of that, fortheartly.
No, but
volunteer kitchen needs people to make the food and also do the dishes. There's quite a substantial parking lot, and there's people there to guide everyone to their places and make sure that the vehicles are looked at.
I'm curious if there's going to be VIP parking again.
Hopefully there will be VIP parking again. Yeah, but if you're really curious, so there's no task that you can think of that isn't available. So please go to the wiki and click on the link of volunteers, and you will find all the information on how you can join in on the fun. And when you're on the field, go to heaven. We have a heaven for our angels who are our volunteers at the field, and they will help you out on what type of tasks you can do.
Yeah, so
and we'll dive in deeper when we get to the team of the volunteers and have the team lead.
Definitely. But maybe to make absolutely clear, like, so there's volunteer teams that are working on the camp right now to the pre-stages before the camp to make sure that everything is gonna work. And then during the camp, you can also volunteer, and a lot of just visitors just pick up a little task, maybe do something an hour or two, and then you help everyone out. So that's really cool.
Yep. And it's a nice way to meet new people as well on a very easy way.
Yeah, definitely, and that's definitely something that I experienced last time. It was my first hacker camp. And I got to meet so many people by just
volunteering.
Standing somewhere and giving people stuff, and then just volunteering. I just did a couple of hours, but I met so many people.
Perfect.
Yeah.
For me, it was a way to make sure that certain talks I did see. I did audio.
That's a good strategy. Yeah.
You're there anyways, so why not push the button to record this presentation?
Yeah,
very
exactly.
Cool. Yep. Because since I think 2001, all the presentations from all the hacker camps are recorded, and you can still view them back. You can still watch them. So that's amazing. That's very cool.
Definitely.
So, are there any other plans that we have with this podcast?
Yeah, I think we're going to discuss the new and exciting topics, like presentations we look forward to, like team content, maybe has some input for that. But also, I think we're definitely going to tell you all about the amazing plans from the hacker community for the camp. Yeah. And the updates are definitely one of the main topics, I think, in this podcast. And we're definitely also going to share some vacancies, because we always need volunteers. And all the ways that you can actually help organizing WHY2025.
Yeah, and there's for the organization there's online meetings regularly scheduled, but there's also sometimes in-person meetings with the orga, and those will be announced on here, and hopefully we get some footage during those events, and also share that with with all you out there. We'll discuss other camps around the world happening as well, because I think most people that come to one camp will also visit more, and it's an international group of friends in most cases. So, yeah,
more hacker events,
give them some
more
love.
better.
Yep.
Yes.
And a little history lesson about the past editions, and a look forward to this 10th edition.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So, this was our episode 0, I guess. It's a bit rough around the edges, maybe. It's a bit new. It's a bit unpolished, but that's the way we roll because we can. It is called Why because we're curious and we want to know more. And it's also a question in itself. So I would like to leave you with some questions. For future episodes, we would love some extra jingles. So, for instance, for the history lessons, it would to give some cool facts about former camps. We would love to have a nice jingle. We're not that handy, so if anyone is listening and able to make a jingle with the proper license, and please let it be legal, so we're not we're not running into troubles when we put it in the podcast, but in the WHYcast. But yeah, I think it's an amazing medium to share with you all, and I'm really looking forward to future episodes.
Yes.
Whoop whoop!
Thanks for listening, and
We did it!
see you next week.
Bye!